We have clarity who's going to be starting at quarterback when the Arizona Cardinals and San Francisco 49ers meet up in a matchup between unbeatens in Santa Clara, plus who's in and who's out for the Cardinals, Johnny Venerable.
Yeah, is this the week that the Cardinals offense, led by Kyler Murray and company, get it going? Or is it just a notch on Drew Petzing's underachieving belt for his unit? PHNX Cardinals game preview starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K on a football Friday. It's PHNX Cardinals, the premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Kindly like and subscribe, friends. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He is my co-host, as always, Brack in Studio K. Noah, man, behind the mic. What a loaded show here on a football Friday. For you card sickos out there, what are we doing? How are we living, Bo?
We're living well. We got to get Claymore locked in on a subscription here. Get those live emojis out here like we're seeing right now. What's going on, Mr. Fat Gangster? Everybody else, Rebel Leader. How about Big Red 6? Block A, Duff. Traquan McCurdle's one of my favorite names in the chat. The Cinema Warden, Rebel Leader, goes to Pat Tilley, Shadow G. How about Snacks? Corey the Stew. So many people here fired up for a football Friday. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, as Johnny mentioned, and also realize that this is presented to you by Bet365. Of course, never ordinary. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code PHNX365. Deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Fire me up.
Fire me the F up, if you may so please. We're so fired up to bring back our game day coverage from Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Wild Horse Pass. So I'd like to call this a casual invite for everybody coming out to Wild Horse Pass on Sunday. Myself, Bo, and Noah are going to be hanging out, watching the game, broadcasting pre-halftime and post as the Cardinals travel to Santa Clara. And we know who's going to be starting at quarterback. I think we had a pretty good idea, given the fact that, like, the Niners said last week, like, Purdy could miss like 4 to 5 weeks. And then this week he was limited, and people are like, oh, he could start this weekend. Kyle Shanahan, right before we went on air, confirmed that Brock Purdy is doubtful, highly unlikely. Here it is, that Brock Purdy will start. We're just trying to see where he's at, if he can even be quarterback 2 or 3. Hey, emergency Brock Purdy. I'd love to see a limited Brock Purdy be inserted in the game after Sweaty J and the boys have their way with Mac Jones. But in all seriousness, this is a team. Yes, they're playing at home, but again, home opener. You have to make it hurt. Brock Purdy, whether you love him or you hate him, he's out. They were paying him, $50+ million to be a franchise guy. Mac Jones is not a good player. I don't care what he did last week. This is a non-starter for me. Got to win this game.
Sweaty J and the boys, you turned my Prius into a nightmare. Love to see that. What's going on with the quarterback position in the Bay Area? But yeah, there's one thing that I noticed, especially this morning when I was there, Jonathan Gannon's availability. And Johnny, I think you get this sense as well. There was an immense amount of gamesmanship going on as far as the rosters, the injury reports, and Kyle Shanahan. He started it by opening up this Brock Purdy nonsense. Like Brock Purdy, with like half the roster DNP, he's limited on Wednesday. He's practicing, and he practiced in a limited capacity throughout. He practiced, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But now it's extremely unlikely he's going to play. And could he even be in a pinch, be available for the 49ers? That's just a smokescreen they tried to use today or this week. And Jonathan Gannon and NIck Rallis and crew, they just kind of aired it out of here. They said, get that out of here. But they also had their own amount of gamesmanship as far as Jonathan Gannon, who's been good as far as relaying the his own injuries this morning, wouldn't rule anybody out. Like, and in fact, Will Johnson remains doubtful for the game with his designation, even though he hasn't practiced all week. And we know that doesn't bode well at all for him playing on Sunday.
Nope, sure doesn't. I don't expect him to play. I don't think you do either. I think next week could be a stretch. I think they probably have the mindset like, let's just slow play this. I think a lot of it also is predicated on like, what do they look like this weekend? And I've gone back to this notion. San Francisco can say what they want publicly. Mac Jones getting that win last weekend and looking more than competent, that was an easy solution for them to run it back this week. He's taken the reps with the first team. They lost in Seattle and then they lost at the Superdome. Guess who probably would try to be trying to gut it out this weekend?
Right.
With the fear of falling to 0-3, 0-2 in the division. Guess what? You won your first 2 games. You get, a little bit more leeway. It's not like you're trying to throw games away, but like a loss, if you're Mac Jones and Kyle Shanahan to the Cardinals in week 3, like at 2-0 doesn't derail your season. Whereas like if you put Brock Purdy out there and he's not 100%, just like the Cardinals, if you put Will Johnson out there and he's not 100%, and not only do you lose the game, but you lose said player for even longer.
Right.
These are kind of the mental gymnastics you have to do because it's such a violent 17-game season. So I fully expect all the injured players are going to stay injured, are going to be on the injury report, or not going to play. Like the injury report itself, but let's break it down. The 49, first of all, the Cardinals situation at cornerback isn't great. The 49ers are in complete shambles in terms of who's going to be available for this game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, lost in, the Purdy news was that their top receiver, Juwan Jennings, hasn't practiced all week. He's questionable with an ankle and shoulder. So as far as Mac Jones and his ability to maybe continue to keep this offense afloat, he's going to have to do it with, Christian McCaffrey, who's been more of a receiver than a runner. So that bodes well for him. But then also you've got, Jennings out. So it's Ricky Pearsall and the recently re-signed Kendrick Bourne after he was released by the New England Patriots. So taking a look at the Cardinals, beyond Will Johnson, who was doubtful for the first time all season long, Will Hernandez is questionable, not ruled out going into Sunday. So we'll see how Miho trends. And then, I'm not concerned about these last 3, Johnny. I think that these guys are surefire plays, even though they're questionable. Paris Johnson Jr., who showed up with a knee. Max Melton, who we knew about with the knee from last game. He practiced all 3 days, and he didn't look like physically he was limited, even though he was, had the designation of limited. And then Tip Ryman, who I talked to today at his locker, said he's feeling good and ready to roll.
Yep. I expect everybody to play here, minus Will Hernandez and Will Johnson. Max Melton, by everything you've reported, Bose, looked fantastic at practice. Tip Ryman's back. That's a big deal for this offense, especially how they want to run the football. Paris Johnson Jr. doesn't miss games, knock on wood. So as far as San Francisco goes, Bruford missed time last week. He's not playing. Juwan Jennings, is there a chance he doesn't practice all week and he plays? I don't think so. I think the Niners are going to just basically put majority of their backups in this week and just say, well, let's see if we can outcoach the Cardinals. And that's where, if you're Jonathan Gannon, NIck Rallis, and Drew Petzing, you have to be aware that you have a staunch personnel advantage this week. It's not, I already thought that the Cardinals, if you're a Niner fan, I thought the Cardinals had a better roster entering this year. Old Fred Warner, old McCaffrey, old Trent Williams, all these players now outside of that are hurt. They're youthful budding stars, so to speak. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, no excuses, none. I every preview that I've listened to this week, whether they're picking the Cardinals or not, has just gone on and on about the cornerback situation for the Cardinals. It's I'm sorry, are you not paying attention? Maybe it's because the Niners are winning games with their backups, but it's like we saw the Saints team. They were a drive away from winning that game multiple times. They had a couple fluky things. Listen, spare me. The Cardinals game was close against the Saints. The Cardinals were winning that game handily, and then the Cardinals dicked around in the fourth quarter.
Right.
The same. The Niners game was not like that. At the end of the day, I just don't think if the Cardinals come out and play a clean game for 4 quarters, and that's an ass bowl because we haven't seen that yet.
Sure.
This game shouldn't be close. The Cardinals should win this game. It's Kyler Murray versus Mac Jones. Mm-hmm. Mac Jones and Ricky Pearsall with no George Kittle versus Kyler and Trey and Marv and James Conner. Come on, guys. What are we doing here?
People get so uneasy as you get kind of closer to the game, right?
Yeah.
You get kind of like these cold feet. And you shouldn't. Like, think about what you would say as a fan and somebody who covers this team if you heard in May that the Cardinals are going to get to face, when the schedule came out, the 49ers with Mac Jones at quarterback and none of their top receiving weapons. Like, literally, none of their top receiving weapons are available. No George Kittle, no Jawan Jennings, no Brandon Ayuk. Like, and that was murky at that time. You would say, sign me up 10 out of 10 times.
Yes.
So, like, that removes any ability to provide an excuse. And I'm with you, man. Like, I don't want to hear about the cornerback spot.
No.
They've done a good job as far as drafting that. You want to see the development on full display. But what you're able to do up front, it should kind of neutralize that. It should be able to elevate that. And, with Max Melton being available, that development is huge. I can't be understated.
Yes.
The second-year corner is going to be there to kind of stabilize thing. And you like people like Jalen Thompson and Darren Hall to be able to fill where, the loss that you have of Garrett Williams that you shouldn't discount. But if you were prepared to lose at any position, I think that's one that you did have, reinforcements for.
Okay, so if you're scoring at home, no Juwan Jennings, we assume. So Max Melton on Ricky Pearsall, okay? Feel like, okay, give up some catches, no problem. And then it's like, can you get enough from Darren Hall and Denzel Burke and Keitrell Clark against, I don't know, Kendrick Bourne, who's been on the team for 5 minutes.
Right.
Bum Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I mean, like, to me, this game, they're going to try their damnedest to disrupt Kyler Murray, force turnovers, short field position. I mean, their special teams are also bad, but if the Cardinals are going to lose this game, it's going to be because the offense pees the bed and Christian McCaffrey goes off. That is their formula. I'm sorry. These tight end, Jake Tungus, come on. You can't be getting beat by Jake Tungus. No, like, what are we doing here?
Right.
If it comes down to, when you want to be a playoff contender and you play a team in your division and they have no players, you have to suffocate them. You have to make it hurt. And no one's here. We're not going to apologize for kicking ass and taking names. If they take care of business Sunday, we will celebrate this win and we will move on to the next, because I guarantee you, come January, if the Cardinals are hoisting a, MC West, championship and hosting a playoff game, no one's going to care about who played and who didn't play in week 3. Yeah. But there is no excuse. And we're going to talk about it. I want to talk about Kyler Murray and, like, just the change of the narrative one way or the other, depending on how he performs. Because I think Sunday is very much a kind of springboard either to where we assume this team is going to go, or losing games to Mac Jones. I just don't think you recover from that.
Right. Yeah. It would take a hit. You would absolutely take a hit. Optics wise, you take a hit in the standings. The Niners have a cupcake schedule. So if you get the opportunity to hand them a loss, you got to do it. Right. And, like, I do want to not get too far from it. Like, the idea that Kyle Shanahan is this, like, quarterback whisperer, that's not true either. Like, he's had a lot of failed projects as far as quarterbacks go as well. Like, guys, when Garoppolo came in there, he was good, he was healthy, and he was the best version of himself. And props to Shanahan for getting him in a position to be successful. He had a steep decline as far as that went. Brock Purdy was a bit of a fluke. You get him as Mr. Irrelevant. You get him in here, he fit the system, it's accurate. He's got an unbelievable amount of playmakers around him. But outside of that, like, it's kind of been a revolving door. Like, there hasn't been, like, true cases. Like, Sam Darnold was in San Francisco, but, like, he wasn't an overwhelming success. He was one and done there. Like, he barely played. Like, to say, like, Kyle Shanahan, it's just put the quarterback. That's Sean McVay. Like, that belongs to Sean McVay. Give him the true credit for that. Like, Shanahan is a great offensive mind, especially when you've got great talent and it's able to really kind of key in on what he's able to do. But, like, Mac Jones, the idea that just because he's got one performance under his belt against the Saints where he throws, 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions, like, he's now this reclamation project. Like, he's last year's version of Sam Darnold under KOC in Minnesota. It's like, this is a guy who has 57 touchdowns and 44 picks in his career. He's 8 games under 500 as a starter in this league. He's been cast off by the Patriots, and then the Jaguars didn't have a whole lot to bring him back either.
Yep. Again, give him credit because he performed last week, and it's the player that we all knew Shanahan wanted the year that they were kind of guilted into taking Trey Lance. Like, remember that leading up to the draft, Shanahan wanted Mac Jones, and Lynch and company had to walk him off the proverbial ledge and say, no, we got to go with the toolsy guy, and neither guy panned out. But I just feel like if you're Kyler Murray, we're going to talk about it around the corner, like what's at stake in this game. Kyler Murray's had immense amount of success against Robert Saleh and the San Francisco 49ers, frankly. Like, if you're going to go anywhere as an organization in year 3 of a rebuild with what you believe is your franchise quarterback, these are not games that you can afford to lose and be outplayed. And we're going to talk about that. Do us a favor. If you're on the fence, hit that join button down below. $5 a month, immensely supportive. Become a part of the supporters club. Get a hold of the many exclusive emojis. Let's see if we can get to 5+ before the end of the show. Everybody asks us, what do we need to do? Do you guys have Patreon? Do you have, how can we support the show? This is one of the best ways. Again, just $5 a month. We're going to be beginning to do poll exclusives via the chat for supporters. So if you want to be in on the supporter polls, Bo, you got to become a supporter today for the real ones.
Yeah, look at Mr. Fat Gangster, Michael Lyon, dropping some Johnny Chug emojis. And word is, we've been filling up supporters so well that they're going to get us some more cool emojis that you're going to have access to. But the only way we do that is by building this community even more so, supporters community. And it's for the true sickos out there. Can't wait to see what else we have in store. But crushing it, like this video, of course, as we continue on here. The Kyler Murray conversation going up against the San Francisco 49ers defense. We'll get into that next year on PHNX Cardinals.
I got a tasty little parlay dropping this weekend via our friends at Bet365. Never ordinary. I'm going to tell you right now, I love a couple underdogs. I like a robust over-under that may or may not be going down in the Windy City. And I like free monies with our friends at Bet365. By the way, do you know with our friends at Bet365, they offer the early payout offer. If you're a winner and your team goes up by 17 points, you get an instant payout. And that happens all the time, especially in college football. This applies to CFB and the NFL. So again, you don't even have to get the money line dub. The team goes up by 17. You're not sweating it. Again, last season, both money lines were paid out 4 times as much because of the early payout offer with our friends at Bet365. New customers right now, they download the app, deposit just $10, place a $5 bet, win or lose, you get $200 in bonus bets. You can use those on props, spreads, player futures, whatever you want. Kyler Murray, maybe MVP odds. Would love to see it after this weekend. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT STEP. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in Arizona. Text NEXT STEP to 53342. Or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
I love that. I also love making a trip to Rally House and loading up on all my favorite teams' gears. Of course, Valley Sports, you want to represent whatever game day vibe you're looking for. Rally House is going to be able to provide that for you. Cardinals, Suns, Diamondbacks, Sun Devils, Wildcats, GCU Lopes. They've got something for everyone. Check them out right now. How about 3 Valley locations that you can tap into? How about Glendale, Tempe, Mesa? You can find one in almost every corner of the Valley. There's going to be a Rally House where you can load up on hats. How about jerseys? They got the selection in drinkware, signage, coolers, socks, even sunscreen to rep your favorite team. Be out there. Oh, you need some SPF 50? Well, here, slap it on. I've got it for you from repping the Cardinals. Check them out right now. Find your local Rally House location. Shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com. Go get one of those new rivalry jerseys before next week's Thursday Night Football. When they debut them, you won't regret it. Check them out, rallyhouse.com.
Big thanks to our friends at Rally House. We want to remind everybody right now, all super chats this month go to our friends at Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Again, we're so excited to support the youth membership, that mentorship that really makes a difference. You can learn more and get involved at bbbs.org/allcity. Again, consider becoming a big today. Be big now.org. We got a new member here, my guy Jeff in the chat. What's good, Jeff? Thanks so much for joining. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Again, if you can spare $5, we'd love to see you become a member. We are barreling toward triple-digit members here, PHNX Sports, and we want to be able to go to our friends at ALLCITY and say, hey, guess what? We have the best football community. It's here at PHNX Cardinals, Bo.
Put them on notice. That's for sure. That's what we're hearing. Little whispers. Like,
I've heard that.
Turns out pretty big football community there. In ALLCITY, we're representing. Thanks to all of you. Let's continue to do that. Lead the charge. Let's continue this conversation, though. Kyler Murray, we heard from her earlier this week. You know, big topic of conversation was Marvin Harrison Jr. targets. Kyler wanted to maintain that he wants to spread the football around and continue to throw the open guy. Like, that's all well and good, but you do need to see some semblance of a downfield passing game. This is regardless of all the trash we just talked about. Mac Jones, we expect it to be a little bit tighter. And in tighter games, as Baldy was telling us yesterday, the little back and forth, you got to be able to throw the football. You got to be able to show the ability to really kind of lean into, and Gannon said earlier this week, you got to be able to hit your top playmakers to optimize your offense. So you want to see that, you know, as we start to kind of get in the latter half of the first quarter of the season, like, show that you have the ability to do this, do it against an opponent that, you want to send a message against.
Yeah. I just looking at the Saints Niners matchup from last week. I mean, the Saints had every opportunity in that game to really, steal a victory over San Francisco. Spencer Rattler had 3 touchdowns, right? Alvin Kamara outrushed Christian McCaffrey, like Chris Olave, Rashid Johnson. They all, had big days. Like, there was meat on the bone for the Saints offense. And you look on the flip side, and like Mac Jones had a good day, but like McCaffrey, 13 for 55 on the ground. Juwan Jennings, who is likely not going to play at 89 yards. Like, the Cardinals defense, I have full confidence in. I think they're going to hold San Francisco to under, 24 points. For the Cardinals, can you find the end zone 3 times in this game? If you can find the end zone 3 times in this game, you're going to win. If you can't, not only is it a smear on your divisional record, everybody goes into high alert when you've got Seattle, a team that you haven't beaten in about 3+ years, coming to town on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know, outside of a win, there's not much to gain if you're San Francisco, but there's a hell of a lot more to lose if you're the Arizona Cardinals and if you're Kyler Murray. You right now have an opportunity to go to San Francisco and say, we're not screwing around. We're the class of this division. We don't take you seriously. I mean, like, the optics, depending on how it would go down, like, I don't think the Cardinals defense, and I think you're with me, is going to wet the bed, is going to be a joke, is going to give up 30+ points. Outside of that happening, like, it's going to fall on this offense, the efficiency and the playmaking ability of their franchise quarterback. And again, I just feel like, if not now, when? This is the week.
Yeah.
If you're Drew Petzing and company, like, there is no mulligan. We're in year 3 of this. Jobs are at stake. Security positions entering, next year's at stake. Like, I don't want to over-exaggerate the importance of a Niner team that is crippled and vulnerable, and you have everything. The entire offense is healthy.
Right.
I don't know if I can say that for any other offense in the NFL. And you got everybody at your disposal. Are you done screwing around? We're all waiting for you to wake up.
Right. This is an opportunity for them to go win a game handily against a divisional opponent that's down. And San Francisco is playing with house money. And if they're able to go out there and execute Kyle Shanahan's game plan to, do it well, not perfect, but do it at a high level enough to win the football game, like, that's an indictment, I think, on the Cardinals more so than it's like, way to go, Mac Jones, like, way to show that you're not the bust everybody thinks you are.
Right.
You're doing it with Ricky Pearsall and not the group of playmakers that thought was going to be a winning combination in 2025 NFL.
Yeah.
It would be a big kind of crushing blow to the Cardinals, and the offense can't stand in the way of that. Like, they have to be able to play that complementary football. I think we've seen it 2 weeks so far, enough from the defense to justify that. But like what we've seen from the Cardinals, it was like Mike Clay was saying on Fantasy Focus with Field Yates the other day that the Cardinals have played, they've led 70% of the way here for the Cardinals. I think there was, for the 2 games, I think there was a slight lead there for the Saints, and that might have been most of it.
Yeah.
But, they've got to figure out a way. Like, that's not going to be the ecosystem that they're going to play in at all times.
Right.
So you've got to show that you can play big boy football when the time calls for it.
And I think that's the problem that we cautioned with their approach offensively in the first 2 games, where it's like, and I think we said this over the course of the summer, it's like, it's a great time at the Superdome and at home in week 2 to knock off some rust with this passing game. Try some stuff out. Be creative. It's like, no, actually, you were very vanilla again. And we have the same questions for the most part as last year. Can you figure it out on the fly against, I don't think great personnel, but a great pass rush and a great DC, defensive coordinator, and Robert Saleh? Like, maybe that's, pressure is going to make a diamond here, and we're going to see the best version of it. I hope so. I don't know if anybody can assure themselves of that, though.
Yeah.
Because I just, had they come out and they were like, we're going to rip it these first 2 weeks, and we believe we can make some mistakes, turn the ball over, and still come out with a dub. Like the Broncos lost last week, but the Broncos week 1 were trying new stuff, turn the ball over 5 times, and still beat the Titans by like 10 points. Like, I would have loved to see the Cardinals say, like, we're gonna get after this. We got a new offensive line coach. We got receivers that need the football, and it's like, no, actually, we're gonna have a very vanilla 2 first games of the year, and we're gonna score on average 20 points per game. It's like, okay, guys. Yeah, I get it. You're 2-0. You're 2-0 because your defense has been performing really well, and your offense has been inconsistent, to say the least. I think, newsflash, I think the Cardinals are going to win this game, but I just feel like anybody who's sitting there, and I don't see many people doing this. Anybody sitting around being like, well, the Cardinals, this is going to be a big time win, and they're going to put up a crooked number. I'm like, how? They don't score enough points to do that yet. They have to do that offensively, and this offense, it doesn't have enough firepower for me to say that yet.
They were able to take advantage last year against sub 500 teams, and I know they're going in a 2-0 Niners team. I'll give them that much respect, but they were able to take advantage, especially like teams that were kind of worn down physically.
Yeah,
they were having to withstand or weather a bunch of injuries. When you look at Chicago, when you look at the Jets, the Patriots, just undermanned rosters, and they were able to go in and win handily. Now, it wasn't like the Jets. I think you would take that when, both Chicago and New England was more a heavy dose of rushing attack. But regardless, those games weren't close once you kind of got into the second half. So, like, can they potentially do that? Like, even the most like Niners fan that's drinking the Kool-Aid has to understand that their roster's in disarray right now. Like, and the Cardinals have to take advantage of that. I see somebody throwing up, Christian McCaffrey's career stats or his record against the Cardinals, 6-1. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers, their Super Bowl window was open, and they didn't get the job done. But their Super Bowl window was open. The Cardinals were rebuilding. Of course, he's going to have a good record against the Cardinals. But now, as far as the weight classes, they're fighting at equal weights, and I would give the edge to the Cardinals right now just based on status of their roster.
Yeah, the Cardinals right now, in terms of rushing yards allowed per game, are top 6 in the NFL defensively. They're only giving up 78 rushing yards per game.
Yeah.
Now, part of that is they've jumped out to 2 early leads, and the other teams kind of had to abandon that. But McCaffrey is a good player who's injury prone. He is not an MVP caliber player. He is somebody that I think can still beat you as a pass catcher. And the Cardinals have historically had trouble with receiving backs. Christian McCaffrey alone on offense should not beat the Cardinals this year. Like, if you're a serious team, if we're going to take you seriously, everybody's going to say Jonathan Gannon, Nick Rallis, Drew Petzing, year 3, Monty Ossenford. Can you go to Santa Clara and lose to a 29-year-old Christian McCaffrey by himself? Unequivocally, no.
Right.
Like Ricky Pearsall, Mac Jones, and Christian McCaffrey is the battery. I mean, I'm going to be disrespectful for a second. That sounds like a preseason offense. That doesn't sound like a regular season offense.
Right.
An old McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, and Mac Jones. If I'm the Arizona Cardinals, I take disrespect that this line has moved. I'm going to tell everybody right now, the Cardinals opened up as a 1.5 point favorite. They're now a 2.5 point dog at San Francisco. Why is that? Because the Cardinals were bet into oblivion and now Vegas is trying to flip it, and now the Niners are a favorite. But most of the money is coming in on the Cardinals to win this game, unequivocally. They want people to bet San Francisco now. They want it to be flipped. So I don't know. I think here are the people who have the most at stake this weekend: Kyler Murray, Drew Petzing, Jonathan Gannon, in that order, in my opinion. Jonathan Gannon being able to take advantage of a bad divisional team, in my opinion, with no players. Drew Petzing, we know the hot seat. And Kyler Murray, listen, we'll be critical of Drew Petzing here locally, but if Kyler Murray loses to Mac Jones nationally, that's a tough look. That's a tough look for the franchise quarterback. And I don't want to see it happen. I want to see him have success because I know he can do it.
Yeah. And, NIck Rallis, who doesn't get mentioned here, can do a lot of good.
Yep.
If he can make the right calls, as he's done so far, as we pointed out this week, according to the analytics, he, as far as play calling, been the best defensive play caller in the league. If he can continue that streak or close to it, dialing up the pressure, you should be able to put McCorkle in some sticky situations where he's going to put the ball in harm's way. And if you can do that, your offense can play complementary football. I mean, that's the blueprint right there. You got to avoid disaster though, and lose to a team down going into week 3.
The 49ers pass rush this year has been okay. I think it's been pretty comparable to the Cardinals. Bosa has 2 sacks, Upton Stout, and then Bryce Huff, each with a sack apiece. But they face immobile Sam Darnold and what I think is a subpar Seahawks line. And then they did okay against Spencer Rattler last week. I think it goes without saying, like, they have not faced a player with the mobility of Kyler Murray yet this year. So, again, you remember that play in the first possession last year in Santa Clara, Kyler Murray taking the end around, putting his number 1 finger up, 60 yards. My infatuation with this passing game, I can leave it on the shelf for this weekend. I think Kyler Murray, if you want to run, young man, run as much as you want. You can't beat the Seahawks like that on Thursday, but you can beat the Niners like that this weekend. We got more conversation coming up. It's Bo and Johnny, PHNX. Our game previews right around the corner, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to preview my weekend. It's going to involve our friends at Zen Leaf Dispensary right now in Phoenix.
It's a great weekend.
Yeah, that's right. For game day, winding down after a long hike at Camelback, or just trying to recover from a brutal Diamondbacks loss. What are they doing? Zen Leaf is your go-to spot for cannabis, flowers, vapes, edibles, and more. They've got locations all over the valley: Chandler, Gilbert, North Phoenix, and more. Check them out right now. For limited time only, use the bonus code ZEN, Z-E-N, PHNX, for 50% off right now. 50% off. Again, their website linked down below. So if you're looking to dip your toe in, trust us on this. One of their 8 Valley locations, they'll treat you right. And again, ZEN, PHNX for 50% off. Zen Leaf, great weed, great service, Bo, every time.
Every time, absolutely. If you're making your way, if you're just kind of like migrating towards downtown, there's a couple big games going on. How about the D-backs hosting the Phillies down at Chase, or the Merc in a win or go home contest? You can get in the door $31 against the Snakes, and then for the Merc, you can get in for $42. You got options with Game Time. The later you kind of hold out, you can get yourself in the door maybe for even cheaper. It's unbelievable. Game Time. Download the Game Time app today and start to browse their tickets to all the events, the concerts, the stand-up comedy, and also, of course, the games, NFL games. You can go to the Cardinals next game for $45. Get yourself in the door. Check it out with Game Time. It's the only game ticketing app that Johnny and I use. We get it not only for tickets to the contest, but also you get parking passes for dirt cheap. It's unbelievable with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download it, create an account, use the code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHNX, $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time app today.
Big thanks to our guy Kev, becoming the newest member here on YouTube. Again, become a supporter and help us out. Let's get to, we need 4 more supporters today to hit our goal.
Kev, that's our colleague.
Yeah, I know. I said big thanks to Kev.
Yeah,
doing his part. Bo and I are supporters.
Yeah.
Noah's a supporter. We got Damon Dog en route to the studio for a little delayed hold or fold the line. But I think in the meantime, Bo, what say you and I dive into our key players of the game here on a Football Friday? I'm happy to kick things off because I feel very, very committed to my selections this week.
All right.
Here are my Johnny V's key players of the game. I think this is a very meat and potatoes game for the Cardinals. Business as Drew Petzing likes it. James Conner is a great player, had a great training camp, has gotten off to a slow start. I think in part because the run blocking has not been good. I think that they are going to make a conservative effort to get number 6 involved early and often. 23 carries, 73 yards, 3.2 yards per clip to begin this year. With all due respect, I like Trey Benson. I don't think he's a featured back at any point in the near future. The Cardinals offensive line, James Conner, I think this is the week they get it going. I think number 6 has a big day en route to over 100 yards. And then Kyler Murray mixing it on the ground as well. I think this is how you take the Niners' soul. You say, well, we don't feel great about our passing game, but we know what the DNA of this team is under Drew Petzing. Run the football, get a dub. On the flip side, Mack Wilson Sr. has not been great the first 2 weeks. Especially last week, he had a tough time tackling in space. He was one of the lowest PFF-rated players for the Cardinals defense. That has to change this week. He is likely going to be isolated on Christian McCaffrey at times. Mack Wilson Sr. last year, not playing the Kazir White role, flourished. He's in a new role this year. He's wearing a green dot. He's their primary off-ball linebacker. I expect him to improve. It has to be this week because, again, I only believe there's one way for the Niners to win, and that's with getting 23 involved out in space. Mack Wilson Sr. has to be an excellent tackler this week. And then last year, he did it with a couple game winners, especially in Santa Clara. That game last year in San Francisco was the Chad Ryland welcome party. Yes, he had a kick block, but he also kicked what ended up being the game winner. He was fantastic. And I think he has a chance to shine in a very tight matchup this weekend. Special teams in general for the Cardinals gotten better each of the first 2 weeks. I think they're going to be on point this weekend. I've too long predicted flash. I'm going substance this week. Run the ball, play good defense, high-end special teams.
Look, and it's a little hopeful, wishful thinking, right? Like, can they get James Conner going? We were talking to offensive line coach Justin Friday at the end of practice.
Yeah.
And I said, how are you going to jumpstart this rush game, this running attack? And, Fry remained pretty confident that they've been, along with the bad, crap, he said the expletive, he said, along with the badass, we've been doing a lot of good things. It's like, well, we need to see as far as the stats that back that up. Because right now we don't. Like what you outlined with James Conner to start the season, it's out of character since he's come to the desert. 3.2 yards per carry is not what we're used to seeing from James Conner. Need to see more. And like Mack Wilson Sr. going up against Christian McCaffrey, like that's a tough assignment. And it's a tough assignment to get right on and really kind of find yourself at the new position. But Mack had a stellar training camp, and I think he's somebody that the coaches have a lot of confidence in. And then the Chad Ryland. Yeah, let's see him continue to kind of hold on to that place kicking spot for the Cardinals and come up with key kicks. Let's go to mine here. A little bit different. I'm going to go more chalky as far as my offense. Yeah, wow. I think I'll just get the spaghetti in meatballs here. Yeah, I'm going to get Kyler Murray as my player of the game. As you mentioned, had a lot of success, especially last year against the Niners. I think he had the 2 touchdowns in the first game and then 4 passing touchdowns and the throwaway finale, but still statistically looked good against San Francisco, had some success against Saleh in the past. It's got to be a Kyler game, as we've talked about. Let's see franchise quarterback go into a hostile environment, and on paper, you've got a pair of unbeatens, and the Cardinals have the advantage. So show that strength, and it starts with one, and I think Kyler Murray can certainly do that. Play mistake-free football and kind of engineer more touchdown drives than we've seen so far this season in the game. I'd love to see that for K1 and the offense. Going more chalk here with the Cardinals' best defensive player through 2 games so far. It's Baron Browning. Baron Browning with a big sack in the first game, and then he had a big pick in the second game. And then you look at the next level stats where it's just pass rush win rate. It's Baron Browning. He's the one creating the most pressure on the Cardinals defense. Give me Baron Browning to continue that, to really kind of dial up the pressure on Mac Jones and the San Francisco offense. just don't get burned when they run Christian McCaffrey right at you. But getting into my X factor, as you mentioned with James Conner getting back on track, it's got to happen with Tip Ryman returning to the lineup and kind of being that X factor as far as setting the tone with the physicality in the run game. Down a little bit on the defensive line, can Tip and the rest of the guys help wear them down with their physicality and run blocking prowess. I'd love to see it.
Yep, I like your selections. Again, Kyler Murray, this has to be a K1 game. This has to be I think Kyler Murray comes away with this game if he has no turnovers. The Cardinals win, convincingly. I think Kyler Murray, you can probably be your worst enemy because Robert Saleh, they know the path to victory is strip sacks, pressures. They're going to be looking back at that play that happened last week, late in the third quarter, that allowed Carolina to get back in this game. Keep the train on the tracks. And if the Cardinals play a clean game, they win this game. In my opinion, the only way San Francisco is allowed to hang around is if the Cardinals beat themselves. Noah, man, what do you like, my guy?
I am going to go with a key player here, and it's somebody that was my guy to start the season, but we really, really need to see improvement on the right side of that line. We really need Isaiah Adams to pick it up. James Conner is going to have to run, and he's going to have to run effectively, and it all starts with that offensive line. He needs to play better. Isaiah Adams has just not been the guy this year, so he has to play better. We'll see. On the defensive side, we're going to go with Josh Sweat here, and I'm going to play off a bow a little bit with Baron Browning creating all that pressure coming off of one side.
Yep.
If Mac Jones decides to slip out on the other, we need Josh to really get around Trent Williams. Go get him. Go get Mac Jones. Need at least 3 sacks this game. You got to take down Mr. Mac. And then X Factor. Oh, I did not. A little mistake on my end. Elijah Higgins. I think he had a big game last week, and if they're the way the Cardinals play, they love throwing to the tight ends, and if they're not going to be throwing to the wide receivers, he has proven to be a big chunk yardage guy when he gets the ball in space, so he could play a big role.
Love Higgy Bear. Yeah, I like this. Start with Isaiah Adams. It's a bit hipsterish for me, but look, it's necessary. Got to have it.
Well, I'm a fan of his, and I'm not a fan of giving up on third rounders after 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the Cardinals are either, Bo. I don't think the Cardinals are in the business of saying, hey, this guy who we invested in and who looked good last year can't play. That's a Keim move, in my opinion. Block young players because they have a bumpy time to begin. I mean, Derek, we asked Baldy. Go check out our interview, by the way. Baldy said you're not going to face Derek Brown every week. And that's who lined up over Isaiah Adams, one of the best D tackles in the NFL.
Yeah. I see our guy Topic 64 in the chat. I think Jalen Thompson's poised for a big role this week. Really do.
He's played really well to start this year. He's invaluable now, especially with the injury to Garrett Williams and his versatility in the slot. Both he and Buddha, now Taylor Demerson probably play a little bit more. That the leadership from 34-3 is invaluable. And again, this is why you preach depth, because it's going to be tested. But I don't know. Keeping multiple players out of the end zone the last 2 weeks for the Pro Bowl duo is something that hopefully we see continue this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Are we going to continue on with some hold or fold? Is that what we're doing next? And then we'll do our game predictions?
Let's do that. Right around the corner, we got our man Damon Dog, fresh off a U of A media day. We had a banner week, mostly me. Hold or fold the line last week. It returns right around the corner. Plus game predictions. It's PHNX Cardinals. But first, right now, I thought we were like ditching the triple-digit temperatures here in the Valley, but they've crept up. They're a little creep. Don't be a creep. Visit our friends at All Pro Shades Concepts. They're treating you right. They can help with their patio shades. Cool your patio up to 20 degrees cooler. Hundreds of colors, durable fabrics to choose from. And again, if you're wondering, like, why are they the best? I don't know, because they were voted #1 by ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024. They've got the BBB A+ rating with over 1,000 5-star reviews. Is that good? And here's what I love about them. I've got this janky old patio shade at my place. They came over. They said, we'll take care of that. We don't even need to do a gut job, Johnny. We can spruce it up a little bit, and it can match with HOA requirements. That's because they're the best. They've been in business with the Valley for over 20 years. They started making window shades by hand for friends and family. Now they're one of the largest patio installers of roll-down patio shades and motorized awnings in the Valley. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Call them right now, 623-204-1476. That's 623-204-1476. Or visit allproshadeconcepts.com. Schedule your free estimate today.
For more than 15 years, Access Insurance, the agency of Arizona, has delivered affordable, reliable car insurance for drivers across the Phoenix metro area. They make it simple to get covered, accepting different IDs, driving histories, and license types while partnering with over 20 carriers so you can compare rates and find the best that fits your budget. With bilingual agents at 9 Valley locations, Access is part of the community and ready to help you discover coverage and discounts you deserve. Plus, they accept both cash and card for your convenience. Access Auto, trusted by the community, rooted in Phoenix, and ready to help. All statements are subject to terms, exclusions, and conditions of applicable policy. In other instances, all current policy contract language prevails. Coverage is subject to individual policy holders meeting underwriting qualifications and state availability. Other terms, conditions, and exclusions may apply. Good stuff there.
Yep. Everybody hit that like button. Subscribe here to PHNX Sports on YouTube. Damon Dog, ready to get a little nasty?
What's up?
Oh,
How we doing, people?
Oh, no.
Is it just the voice of Damon Dog?
Oh, it is just the voice today.
Throwback producer Damon. You love to see that, but you also love to see a domination from your boy last week. Let's take a look. What did the fellas end up with a week ago? I don't know. Maybe me coming out on top with an Atlanta road dub for plus money. You absolutely love to see it.
People couldn't have cared less, so no one didn't even make a graphic. So I don't care what Johnny did last week. So you're on the board. I'm on the board. Damon, you're on the board.
Yeah, I took Seahawks over Steelers last week, and despite trying to give that game away in the first half, the Seahawks end up with a 2-possession victory, 31-17.
Yeah, you know what? It's just so on brand for Johnny to want to take control of this segment, make it all about him. But
yeah.
Humble Damon Dog just getting the quiet dub last week.
I'm just going to put my head down,
yeah.
bro.
Blue collar Damon.
Just his lunch. He's got his lunch pail ready to go to work, hammer out some dubs.
Okay. So if you're scoring at home, Bo took down week 1 by himself. Damon and I are rallying back. So I believe we're probably all in plus money or close to it. So we'll have those updated dogs next week. Man, sexy Damon Dog back, according to Dingo Flex, Damon's burner account. You love to see that. Oh, man. This week, I feel really good about my pick. I'd love to go first, if that's okay.
Yeah. Hey, the floor is yours. You're going first in all these things today. Go ahead.
That's right. Me. Give me Broncos money line, plus 130. The Broncos off just a disastrous loss. Pouring out for our guy, Zach Stevens, who tweeted out that the Broncos won, and then the Broncos ended up losing, and he never deleted the tweet. And I'm like, that's a bold strategy. I love to see that. The Chargers, and this is a rarity, play 3 straight divisional games to begin the year. They play the Chiefs, the Raiders. Now they play the Broncos. The Chargers would love to win this game. I'm a huge Jim Harbaugh guy. He's a winner. Winners win. This is a must-win for the Broncos. We laughed at them last year. We thought they were overrated. They played a dog water schedule. I mean, we saw them in joint practice. They were really good at the joint practice.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on when the games start. Maybe the AFC West is the best division in football. I think that the Broncos eke out a W. I think they do enough defensively. I don't know the status of Patrick Surtain. That scares me. But the Chargers, O-line's been good. A little susceptible without Slater to pressure. Hey, Bo Nix, are you any good? Are you going to wake the F up? I drafted you in like multiple fantasy leagues, and he's been a big dumpster turd. So I'm going to go emotional hedge this week. My gut tells me that the Broncos win. My heart tells me that if they lose, we laugh at them. So win-win for your boy.
Yeah, you know what? I can appreciate you doing that emotional hedge so we can have a good chuckle at their expense. But I just don't think it's going to – I don't think you're going to get the outright dub here.
Okay.
I think the Chargers are just built better, especially handling a team like the Broncos. I'm going to fold this one, Johnny. I appreciate it, but I just think that they're playing too well. Like Alt switching back over left tackle, he's playing great at that spot.
He's good.
Give me Justin Herbert and crew, that run game, that defense. I don't think this is the conducive to Bo Nix getting right just yet.
The Broncos' reign is over. They're frauds. It was a good Mickey Mouse season last year. The Broncos lose this one, 1-2 start. Maybe should have lost the Titans in week 1. It's over. That's all I got to say on the matter. I'm folding.
Yeah, he's folding.
Got it. Okay. Listen, that doesn't hurt my feelings. I love our friends at DNVR, Zach and everybody, but we root for the Broncos to lose. They're smug mugging it last year with Sean Payton and his big mocha frappe that we saw at the combine. He has puffy vest on. It's like, Sean, step aside.
Well, and Bo and I, we have some old Bo Nix takes going on in the back burner that we gotta maybe try to look better on, because year 1 in looked pretty bad, pretty rough.
26 touchdown passes, him ripping it in the playoffs. Yeah, those didn't age well, but it's not over. It's not over for Bo Nix takes to maybe come back to life. All right, Johnny's not a gracious host. I'm gonna let Damon go next here.
All right, let's do it. This one is simple for me. I'm taking Raiders money line. The Raiders. I'm doing it because Jaden Daniels is out, announced earlier today. It's Marcus Mariota. Maybe he has a revenge game against the Raiders. I doubt it, though. I think Smith is very inconsistent, but he played a terrible game last week, and I expect better from him on this Sunday.
How did Cliff perform against Pete Carroll?
He won a game in Seattle with Colt McCoy.
Okay.
I think he was pretty good, honestly.
Decent?
Yeah. Much better than, unfortunately, JG has been against Seattle. I mean, I remember Kyler year 1 went into Seattle and beat the Seahawks. And then they had that remember the Thursday night or the Sunday night game in 2020 with the Isaiah Simmons pick. I mean, Cliff was probably at least 500 against Pete Carroll.
Okay. So not a huge advantage there, but you got Cliff having to get Marcus Mariota ready for that game instead of Jaden Daniels. Yeah, man. I kind of do like a bounce back here from Vegas. They are going on the road though, aren't they? On a short week?
Yeah, it's on the road. But a long week, no? Oh, wait, I guess they played Monday.
Right?
Yeah.
Monday night.
Cliff was 3-5 versus Pete Carroll, by the way.
So I was close. I said 500.
You know what? I'll hold with Damon Dog on this one.
I like the Raiders a lot, and I will hold as well. But I'm going to tell everybody right now, I did not love this player coming out this year. I thought it was an egregious decision by this team. Ashton Genty is not any good. 2.7 yards per clip to begin this year, and you got Chip Kelly basically like, I don't know. I think
when he's not playing the 10:30 Eastern game and it's Panera State,
right? Panera Bread. It's community college U. It's Ashton Genty, undersized Boise State back as a top 10 pick.
Right?
Come on, Pete. That's rough. Everybody peeing their pants over Marvin Harrison Jr. It's like Ashton Genty through 2 games, 2.7 yards per carry. I'm going to tell everybody right now, Cam Scatterbu was the best college football running back last year. Cam Scatterbu, I've been more impressed with, frankly, with what I've seen on and off the field, Damon.
I've been more impressed with what I've seen out of Bill.
I mean, he's on the other side in this game.
He is, though. So I will be rooting against Bill in this one. But hey, Austin Eckler down, not to say Austin Eckler is some like world beater, but you're down your starting quarterback, you're down your starting running back, and it's week 3. I mean, I think that's a tough task for a team.
Asking Bill Krosky to come up and be Superman in this game might be too much for Washington.
I like this. Box score watching. Well, the Cardinals played the Raiders in the preseason, and he didn't look great. He's 5'8". I just am not a fan. I've never been a fan, though, LVL7. So, yeah, I have an emotional crutch to burn here with Ashton Genty. I also, by the way, have you seen Cam Scatterbu at that Daboll press conference that happened? Did you guys see that? Where Daboll's trying to meet with the media and Scatterbu's just yelling in the background and it like disrupts Daboll and people are just like, scat being scat. Daboll said that. And I'm like, why isn't that here? That should be here right now.
Mari Dermacado can't even get on the field any longer. It's a two-back team.
That's
the Cardinals also worked out Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt and could have had him rounds later, Bo. Rounds later.
Johnny's here pounding the table for another a vibes guy.
Johnny's a content guy.
Chief vibes officer instead of a
Hey,
productive football player.
I want people to rally the troops, not an offense that wets the bed in the fourth quarter. I think the energy that Cam Scatterby would have brought to the Cardinals these last 2 fourth quarters would have been invaluable. Dare I say they would have picked up one of those.
We're moving on here. We're moving on here. Speaking of surface level stats and box score scouting, that's kind of what I'm doing here. And I'm not going to buy too much into it.
Okay.
That's why I'm going to get some value here, I think, with the Houston Texans on the road. Give me Texans money line plus 110 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Damon's guy, Liam Cohen. I'm fading him. And T-Law, give me CJ Stroud and crew bouncing back against the Jags in the early game. I'm not buying the Texans. They're done at 0-2. They can still generate a lot of pressure. Will Anderson having a great start to the season. Give me the Texans money line.
Something light, Bo. Like Liam Cohen would say.
And who's holding with me?
Nope, I'm jagging off this week. I'm going with the Jaguars. The Jags, I think they get Brian Thomas Jr. going this week. CJ Stroud is a bum. He has been a bum since the Cardinals made pick
Bigger bum than T-Law?
The passing game for the Houston Texans
remember this, Jacob.
Makes the Cardinals passing game look like flipping, air raid Texas Tech Patrick Mahomes. There's not a worse watch on offense right now than Houston. It's a rough watch.
Christian Kirk's ready to go, it looks like. Feed me the Texans money line.
No.
What have the Jags and Texans done thus far? So the Jags are 1-1. The Texans are 0-2.
Yeah, the Jags who'd they beat up on week 1? It was Carolina, right?
Some elite team.
Yeah, they beat the Panthers by 16. Then they lost to Jake Browning and the Bengals.
They've scored 26.5 points per game. Texans doing that? Nope.
The Texans need a win like they need oxygen to breathe.
Right.
You can't start 0-3. The Texans have lost by 1 to the Bucks, who I think are a good team. They've lost by 5 to the Rams, who I think are a good team. I like it, Bo. I'm going Texans with you.
Logic prevails.
Brian Thomas Jr. going to get it going this week. Sorry. Sorry. Folding.
It doesn't matter. Trevor Lawrence is going to throw 2 back-breaking picks.
I can't. CJ Stroud, what has happened to you? He stinks. He's a big stinker.
Brian Thomas is afraid to get hit. You seeing that?
He did get gator arms in the end zone.
Liam Cohen went serious face for a minute in the post-game press conference and was like, he basically lost us the game because he doesn't want to get hit when catching the football.
Damon, this is when the Heisman Trophy winner takes over. You love to see it. Inject the Heisman Trophy winner of a year ago, both sides of the ball. He's going to make a big play. He's going to have like a forced fumble and a touchdown reception. What do you think about that?
I think probably not.
Colorado's program may be in shambles, but we got to have one player from Colorado do well.
Yeah.
And Shedeur Sanders is a scrub McGrub.
They're talking about Shedeur maybe getting traded to the Bengals. That's what the new Shedeur fans conspiracy scenario is.
Will Cleveland retire his number? We'll see.
Colorado. Will they be bowl eligible this year, Damon, quickly?
They're leaning towards no right now. They've played 3 quarterbacks and, they lost to Georgia Tech, which was a huge loss, but they're back to their original quarterback, and now they play Wyoming this week. So probably going to be a big dub, and then I think they finish with 5 wins.
I will use today's platform with 300 people watching, because I am the king of humility, to congratulate Damon. I believe the U of A Wildcats will make a bowl. We sat in St. Elmo Steakhouse last February, and Bo and Shane and I ridiculed sweet, innocent, newborn baby Damon and laughed at Brett Brennan, and they have looked more than competent. So congratulations, Damon.
You made a mistake reminding me of that. I forgot about that, Johnny.
Football is back.
I
just said I was sorry. Sorry.
Of course, we got to make our move into overtime here. Okay, Damon, go back to pushing back.
We were at St. Elmo. And of course, I'm sitting at the table. Shane Diefenbach, Mr. ASU, was actually much more cordial than Johnny and Bo were, being like, "Come on, Damon, you know too much about sports to think that Arizona could go 500 next season." That's all. It was crazy.
Just seen from Brett Brennan, was one of the worst coached teams that I had seen in my tenure watching college football, given the talent that they had.
Oh, 100%. It's about the coordinators. That was what it was about. He made good hires this offseason. He made horrific hires last offseason. And I think that the team is decent. I don't think they're great, but they're decent.
I think they've got 3 more wins on their schedule. I think they beat Oklahoma State. I think they beat Colorado. And I think they probably beat maybe BYU. Maybe they got a chance to beat Cincinnati. Maybe there's 3 more wins.
Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, and what was the other one you said? Those would be on paper. Colorado. On paper, those 3 are you should be favored in.
Congratulations, Damon. Football is back in the desert in more ways than one. We appreciate you, Damon. And everybody check out the U of A Wildcats post-game show mañana a week from tomorrow. Week this week.
Yeah, we got a bye week. We play Iowa State, which is the highest ranked Big 12 team, in a week from Saturday. Gonna be a good one, hopefully. So we'll see if Arizona wins that one, they'll be ranked. But we'll probably not. We'll see. Love you guys though. Appreciate you.
In the meantime, check out all those great interviews they did that the court. Yes. McHale. They're talking with some big time hoopers. It's nearly college basketball season, so look out for that. But they're holding off talking college hoops like 24/7 down in the Pueblo, which is it's always good. Sometimes at this time of year they're already talking hoops. You can delay that. But
yes,
Damon and Kevin did some great jobs there. Now let's get into our predictions. We didn't lose too much talking U of A football, did we?
Sorry. I had to say I was sorry to Damon. I did tell Damon I was sorry. And here's who I'm not going to apologize to. The Cardinals cornerback room, because it's time to suck it up and get a dub on the road. Let's go into game predictions now. We'll make it 3 for 3. Man, no, I love that photo. Bo, what do you got?
I've got the Cardinals. I went back and forth. I kind of had a number like you had to start.
Okay.
I'll let you reveal that a little bit later. But I think that when I look at this game on paper, I'm a little bit more hopeful that the Cardinals can get it going and make it a little bit more lopsided. I've got the Cardinals winning 27-18 in this contest. I think that if they play good brand of football, they take down the penalties, and they're a little bit more efficient on offense, that they should win this game a little bit more handily than they had the previous 2. Just think that this is a huge opportunity for them. And you're hopeful that Kyler Murray can take advantage of that. And I think that the offensive firepower can they jumpstart that a little bit, get the run game going, because there's confidence from me, and I think a lot of yourself in the fan base that they can play enough defense to do it. That's why I've got them here 27-18. But if the offense, can't get it going, it's going to be a little bit tighter than I think anybody wants. Maybe that 27 comes down to about 21 or 23, which would be some fingernail biting at the end of this one.
I want to believe that will happen. I don't believe it will happen. I think the Cardinals offense has so much kind of dysfunction right now. I regardless of what they say publicly, they don't look great. They look good at times, and then they look completely inept at times. And now you question, what the future is with this situation with Marvin, and that's a talking point. And I think they go ultra conservative offensively. I think they go even harder in the paint because they know that I think the defense is going to generate at least one takeaway. I think the Cardinals have a better roster and a better line of scrimmage on both sides, and I think the Cardinals know that. So I assume the Cardinals are going to run James Conner ragged. I mentioned Chad Ryland's going to have a big impact in this game. I believe the Cardinals are going to win. I think they have a better roster top to bottom, but I have legitimate concerns about this passing game and the temptation or lack thereof for Drew Petzing to allow Kyler Murray to throw the football downfield. It's a huge concern. If the Cardinals go into halftime with a lead, I expect them to sit on that and run the football and get out of San Francisco with a win, which inevitably is the goal. I will come on the post-game show. If they win this game and they win it ugly and they're 3-0, you won't hear me complaining or apologizing on the post-game show. Whatever you need to do, get the dub. I mentioned Kyler Murray's legs have been a factor. Let him go, on the perimeter, outrun the likes of Bryce Huff and Nick Bosa. Cardinals with a field goal dub, Noah, over San Francisco.
I'm taking the Cards here, but I think this game goes into overtime.
Wow.
I think end in regulation at 24. I think that the way the Cardinals have kind of given up the end of the game lately, it might happen again this week, but you're facing a team with a lot more experienced players that have been in these situations and know how to win. But the talent at quarterback might hold them back a little bit. But I think it goes into overtime. I think Cardinals win the toss, they get a score, and the defense really shuts them down, and it's a win. But I think it's going to be an ugly win again.
Could you survive that type of game, Johnny?
No.
You'll pass out on the floor at Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
Last year was really close.
Yeah.
I think the Cardinals, I think they would serve them well to play a close game and win at the end. That's not, them collapsing like the last 2 fourth quarters. Here's where I'm at. Whatever you need to do to get the win, do that. And we'll regroup next week because they have a short week against Seattle and then they get a mini bye. I don't care how you do it. Get the dub. I'm over optics. Like, optics were important because you could not lose to the Saints and to the Panthers. Those are bad teams. I mean, there were still people naively picking the Niners to win the NFC West before the year. They love the personnel. I don't see it. They haven't hit on enough draft picks. If you go into this game and get the win, I don't care how you do it. You want to win this game 10-7, do it. Because we haven't been in the playoffs since 2021. I hate the Niners more than I hate any singular team and fan base. Despise them. Sickos, get a dub, whatever it looks like. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, agreed. Figure out whatever is going to work offensively and complement that defense. Terry going after Noah. They don't kick the PAT and OT. Come on,
that
man.
was just in the playoffs.
But don't they give everybody now, both teams, an opportunity?
Possession,
Yeah, if the Cardinals do score, they would certainly have them kick the PAT. So,
and then you could stop the Niners from scoring. That would be the game.
Maybe we need to ask the question of who does know the rules of overtime. Does anybody?
Somebody's in the chat. Somebody's in the chat saying that the 49ers reporter, Lynn Bailey, is saying, hey, Lynn, is saying per 49ers reporter, Jennings is playing. I have not seen that at all. I've been trying to find that the whole show. Here's what I've seen. Niners reporters saying he's doubtful, even though he's questionable, that people are skeptical. He didn't practice all week. When was the last time a player, especially a receiver, didn't practice because of an injury all week and then played in a game? I can't remember. I mean, you want to trot him out there and he's compromised, so be it. But
I mean, it's for the most part, it seems game time decision.
He's got a shoulder and an ankle injury. I mean, yeah. I guess he could.
I don't think there's anything definitive out there that would point to whether or not he's going to play.
Yeah. Questionable to play. And I saw a legitimate reporter saying they're skeptical he's going to play. Highly unlikely Purdy plays, and there's skepticism around. I mean, like, how could you assume a guy who didn't practice all week is going to play?
Yeah, I don't see anybody as far as that covers the team saying that he's trending towards playing. I mean, didn't practice not in a single day. So it's could bode well really for the Cardinals. I mean, we didn't really see a whole lot of Juwan Jennings last year. He was going for 1,000 yards receiving and got kicked out of the game.
It was like the least memorable 1,000-yard season of any receiver I can remember. It's just like Juwan Jennings had 1,000 yards. What? Who?
I think he came up short. I don't think he got there because of the fight.
Oh, did he not? Did he get to like 900? That's probably.
Yeah. Well, it was a great show. We got to know, of course, your opinion on this one. Drop in the comments, not the chat, the comments, your final score prediction. Cardinals going to get to 3-0? We'll find out. Let's get into our super chats here, Johnny. How about $20 from the ghost of Pat Tilley? 20 generous dollars. We have folded in the second half against bad teams in the games we controlled 2 weeks in a row. Is this coaching failure?
Yeah, I mean, it's always coaching. If your team can't stay focused for 4 quarters, it's coaching. Although, like, it is hard if you're a player, whether you're high school, college, or pros, to keep it locked in. These guys get paid too. I think Nick Rallis would like some defensive calls back, and I know Drew Petzing would like some offensive calls back. So it's happened 2 weeks in a row, and it's been a point of contention this week. I think we're going to get the most complete performance yet, but it's necessary against a team like this on the road.
Love that. How about we go into $2 from Champy? Go Cards, go Wildcats. Big Damon Dog fan there, I think.
Bear down. Thank you, Champy. We appreciate you. The 90s Poppy, $5. I'm tired of the lack of national coverage we get. People forgot we swept the San Francisco 49ers last year. Any update on Walter Nolan? Yeah.
There was a question today about both Walter Nolan and BJ Ojulari because they are 2 games, which will be played in the next 7 or less than 7 days for the Cardinals to have the chance to open up both their practice window. And when asked about that, Jonathan Gannon said he's not talking about hypotheticals. He's talking about Kyle Shanahan today. He's not talking about anything as far as in the future. He's talking about San Francisco 49ers. So no update.
I would be shocked if Walter Nolan wasn't activated off PUP after the Seahawk game. That would be...
Well, I mean, I think his practice window, you mean?
Right, to practice.
Yeah.
BJ Ojulari, I don't think so. But, I mean, Walter Nolan...
It would be a big bolt. It would juice him up defensively. That'd be great.
Again, going into that Titans game at home, yes, let me feast on Cam Ward's offensive line if you're Walter Nolan. But I rarely do this, but I'm going to go 2 for 2 with predictions. Last week, I said defensive touchdown. It came true. Would you like another prediction this week? Clip it if it's true. If it's not true, scrub it from the internet. Game-specific prediction. Are you ready for this, Bo? Arizona Cardinals this week will have a play for a touchdown over 50 yards. Offensive play.
Ooh.
We'll have an over 50-yard offensive play.
Shots.
Could be a run, could be a screen pass, could be a Kyler Murray touchdown. They will have a big play touchdown over 50 yards. And again, that might not seem crazy to a lot of teams. This fan base, we're starved for that. I think they get that this week.
Victor Rodriguez saying, I'm saying if too much, too many qualifiers. I mean, coming from a San Francisco 49ers, if Mac Jones isn't a bust, they have a chance on Sunday. There's bigger ifs with the 49ers, that's for sure. So yeah. I apologize for dressing mine up with too many ifs.
Don't apologize. You be you, my guy.
Thanks, man.
Sports Hero, what? Did someone say Mr. DiMercato? I miss Amari DiMercato. I never thought I'd say that. I need to see something from Trey Benson. Come on, Trey. Big play, Trey. Let's go. Trey McBride.
Troy Quan.
Yep. A reminder, Bo, myself, Noah, and confirmed,
yes,
Brayton Golden will be at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass. Let's go, Cardinals update. Rocking a PHNX shirt with no draws on right now. That's how I do every show. You guys just can't see it. We're going to be at Wild Horse Pass this weekend. We're going to have a watch along pre-halftime post game. Come out if you haven't been. Largest sportsbook casino in Arizona. Great food, great vibes. We're 1 for 1 the last calendar year watching Niner away games there. So we would like to start this year off with a big dub, Bo.
We need it. We absolutely need it. We want you to be there. Enjoy the great food that Gila River Resorts and Casinos at Wild Horse Pass has to offer. Drinks. I believe we'll have our own specials that day, right? Come in and enjoy those. We're hanging out at Wild Horse Pass. Kickoff just after 1. So join us for the pregame show at 12:30. We're going to be firing it up then. We at live at halftime if you can't make it, and of course in the post game. Don't miss out on that. We're going to be breaking it down, win or lose. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a big one. First big game on the road for the Arizona Cardinals of the 2025 season. Can they push it to 3-0 for the first time since 2021? Drop that comment whether you think it's possible or not with your score predictions. For Noah, Johnny Venerable, follow him on Twitter. Follow us at PHNX_Cardinals. Follow me at Bo Brack. Enjoy your Friday, your Saturday. We'll talk to you on Sunday. Week 3 will be upon us by then.
We all silly like the mayor.